Are the HORI split pad compacts and pros worth buying?
Oh, big question again. Andy with the clickbait.
Oh yes. Yeah, but it's true though, like, because these are the most easily accessible Joy-Con alternatives on the market
in every retailer. Every electronics retailer, that is. And with all the hype and talk now of, you're going to put some headphones on, that's good. With all the hype and talk now of like proper professional feeling Joy-Con alternatives and Pro controllers like we've seen with the mopads. Yes, we talk about them a lot.
Yes.
It makes sense to look back at some of the licensed and OG alternatives that are on the market.
Absolutely.
We still get asked a lot about the split pad pros and split pad compacts. Are they worth buying?
Yep.
It's a big question because there's a lot of kind of, it depends.
It really does depend. And I mean, without these guys, would there really be anything else?
Yeah, history lesson. They are the OGs in alternative Joy-Cons and Pro Controller style things.
At least the like official availability of them, at least from what I remember as well being out there.
Yeah.
There was nothing from the release of the Switch in 2017. We all thought because they're removable, hey, they're going to make all these different cool ones. No, it's Nintendo. They just make a feature and never use it. So they did that with the Joy-Cons, and then fast forward to the end of 2019 when the game Daemon X Machina came out.
Yeah.
HORI decided to make the split pad pros for that game. They were for the game. They weren't even just an alternative. It was for that one game. And then I bought them specifically not to play that game because it had turbo.
But you know? And like everyone else as well.
Yeah, just bought the controllers because they were like, oh, wow, the first time there's more ergonomic, larger Joy-Cons, we could utilize these with other games. And then all of a sudden, I think HORI went, hang on, people are buying these and not playing the game with it, so let's make a whole line out of it.
Yeah.
And then that's what kind of kicked off everyone else copying them and making them better. And we've seen all these different Joy-Con companies come out now.
Oh, yeah, like so many from Nixie through to Mopapad, like just an endless amount, and some amazing ones.
Yes.
But the first part of the question, are they worth buying? If you want an officially licensed alternative that's not made by Nintendo, this is your option.
It's the only option. They're the only officially licensed ones.
And let's start with the aesthetics, because they look amazing.
Especially now. I mean, the ones that I had back in the day, the Daemon X Machina ones were just black. They weren't even translucent like they became. They're just black. They look a bit rubbish. But then they slowly adapted and started making different models and colors. And then we started seeing stuff like this, like Tears of the Kingdom versions. We've got a really amazing Eevee Evolution set just here. Like, these are the compacts. And oh my God, they are beautiful. These are actually translucent. Translucent. I've did a whole video about these a little while back, so you can see them on that. But yeah, they are beautiful, and they do Sonic ones. They do like
the Sonic ones.
They're amazing,
epic.
Aren't they? They're so good. Like the designs and artworks that you can find on these are beautiful.
Yeah, totally.
Like the best out there, and they're not even like painted on. It's like imprinted into the plastic or whatever, so it's gonna last. You know, they're to look at. They're beautiful. They really are.
They really are. Okay. With the to look at thing, you know where I'm going.
Oh, where are you going there?
The split pad pros have one huge aesthetic flaw.
What's that?
It's what I like to call the stairway to heaven. The lip between they're on, between the face of your Switch and the face of
the step Joy-Con down.
That's disgusting.
It's like a whole centimetre. Like
easily a centimetre.
It's disgusting. Yeah, it's horrible.
That's a disgusting step.
Yes.
You don't get it with the compacts.
No.
They sit flush, or flusher at least.
Yeah. They've got like little tiny drop-down grooves so that it kind of like bends down into it. It's more gradual.
It's weird that they have such a lip on them because there's nothing going on inside.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They've not had to cram a battery in there.
No, and there's
very little going on that would necessitate that depth.
Yeah, because there's not even like that much ergonomics going on other than wideness.
Yeah.
You know, like when you see them from the side, they're pretty flat, like compared to other options.
What was the one we looked at recently? The Epoch from
Doyoki,
They're huge. They've got
monstrous.
Massive lip on them. But it's so big, in fact, that the horns won't allow it to stand up.
Yeah, you can't use the kickstand properly.
So then it goes to the ergonomics. So let's go with the split pad pros because they're on the Switch. They do now feel too thin.
Yeah, compared to everything else we've seen, yeah.
At the time, amazing.
Oh, at the time they were brilliant, yeah.
They're so thin now that I still have the problem that I have with the Joy-Cons, and I still go to put my little finger underneath
to prop them up, yeah, which is always what I've ended up doing.
Yeah, which is that's a really bad ergonomic. That's why you're moving away from the Joy-Cons, is to remove that cramp that you get from that little finger there.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
They also feel cheap.
They do, don't they?
I didn't want to say it. I was trying to find a nicer word.
I don't know what it is about them. I mean, it's an odd one because in some ways they feel good build quality, and then in others they don't.
Oh, what's the Joysticks about? Oh my!
But that's the funny thing is at the time these were the most accurate joysticks.
It's like 5 years from top to bottom. What's that?
Yeah, because they actually have large joystick modules as opposed to the mini ones that Joy-Cons have.
Yeah.
These actually have like full-size joysticks, and it differs again compared to the compacts. The compacts are smaller again. They're in between.
That's way too big for a Switch. That's just huge.
Yeah, the travel distance is massive.
And this big flat top to it.
Yeah, I don't like the feel of them.
It's funny how quickly your taste changes.
Yeah.
With, I say funny, but I mean that's been 4 years since they came out.
Yeah. Well, pushing 5 at the end of this year.
So technology in the controllers, at least for the Joy-Con alternatives, has moved on massively.
Well, that's the thing, because these used to be the most accurate sticks. Anyone that had wanted to play FPS games, I'd recommend these because they were the most accurate, lowest dead zone for potentiometer sticks.
Yeah.
And probably less likely to drift, even though they're potentiometers, than the Joy-Cons.
Yeah.
But now we see Hall effect sticks in almost everything, and they are way more accurate than these even.
Okay. So they're not particularly nice. And of course, because they're not Hall effect, they're going to suffer with drift eventually.
Yeah. Potentially, yeah.
The bumpers, again, it's just huge travel going on.
Yeah. Everything just feels like mushy.
Yeah. The triggers are quite nice, to be fair. They're digital triggers, aren't they?
Yeah.
There's a satisfying kind of click to it.
Yeah.
But again, compared to the overpowered M6 it's
no comparison.
Night and day.
No comparison.
Face buttons. They're big. They look like Smarties. They're really proud on the side. It's weird.
Yes, the shape is odd.
They don't feel terrible.
No, they don't.
Membrane buttons.
It's just weird that they've kept the original design entirely.
Yeah.
And they've just changed the colours.
Yeah.
Like the feel of the buttons and the sticks and everything, they've never improved that.
Yeah.
They just went, let's just stick a colour on it.
Okay, so back paddles.
Yeah, you got the back paddles as well.
I would also say, comparatively now, they're in a weird position.
Yeah.
They're a bit too high.
Yeah, they're not too bad when you're holding it naturally, but yeah, they are a little bit high, yeah.
And they're quite proud as well.
Yes, yeah, they're again mushy, horrible.
Yeah, long travel for their actuator. Just like a lot going on there.
Yeah.
And they just generally and genuinely feel a bit light and cheap.
Try some of the extra buttons. Just push those extra buttons and feel those.
Oh,
the horrible rubber.
Who designed that? They're made of rubber.
They're rubber, and they are awful.
That's like the kind of thing you'd get on like a 1980s alarm clock or something.
Yes, it's disgusting. It is disgusting. But they did fix a lot of these problems with the compacts, which are the newer ones. So the compacts were released later.
Okay, instantly the joysticks are 1,000 times better.
They're much nicer.
Much nicer. That smaller module.
Yep.
It just feels
still more larger than the Joy-Con. Yeah. Like in terms of the joystick module. It's more akin to like a full-size joystick module, but not as big as these ones. And the toppers are also way nicer.
Way nicer.
Like beautiful. I actually really rate these.
They've done away with the disgusting rubber buttons for like the assigning and turbo and stuff.
Back to plastic. Yep. Face buttons are much nicer.
So much nicer. They're like 25% of the size.
Yeah. But I like that.
No, they feel loads nicer. Bumpers.
Yeah,
bumpers aren't
it's
great.
Still not great. It's still not great. But I think the compacts are the better.
I think the triggers on the Pro are better than the compacts.
Yeah, they probably are. Yeah.
The bumpers, they're not great.
No. How do you find the back paddles?
what's going on with them. I'm not even sure what's happening there.
So just for anyone like not understanding what's going on here, this has an attachment in the middle. This is the HORI attachment, which makes it a wired controller.
Yeah.
Because without it, it only works on the Switch. And I'll go over the specs or lack thereof in a minute. We'll do that in a bit.
So there's no wireless connection. There's no internal battery in either of these. They have to be wired in some way to the Switch to work, which is why this has this central piece.
Yes.
The back buttons are horrible.
Yeah.
They're in a weird place and they take up too much real estate.
Yeah.
So your fingers are all over them. I would imagine as well, maybe not. They're a bit more... I was going to say, I imagine my little finger will end up drifting underneath. Yeah. But these, bizarrely for being straight, feel a little bit more ergonomic than the Pros.
I much prefer the compacts than the Pros because it makes the whole unit a lot smaller.
Yeah.
And also because it's then wider as opposed to on that thing just there, it still has the pinky problem. Like
you still end up putting your finger underneath.
To put my finger underneath to like prop it up,
which is the biggest flaw of the Nintendo Switch's ergonomics.
Yes,
full stop.
And also it goes back to the whole asymmetrical joystick design. If it was more Steam Deck style, it would be a lot easier to naturally rest.
Yeah, whereas your palms are going to be pushed in then.
Yeah, because you've got to adopt like a weird grip to get this thumb down here for that. It tends to make you want a pinky grip.
Yeah,
but that alone is a much nicer. Like
100%.
Isn't that much better? Yeah.
My finger does go underneath. You're right. Yeah. Straight away, little finger wants to go underneath. They could do away with the back paddles entirely.
They could do, but I like them being there. I would keep them there personally because of the features that we'll talk about in a minute.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The less said about the D-pad, the better as well.
Yeah. It's not.
But nice. On both of them.
Yeah, they both suck. Like the D-pad both sucks. So the features then, let's get into that. The features of these, believe it or not, there basically isn't any. they're not wireless.
No wireless.
No battery.
No battery.
They are leeches, so they pull the power from your Switch to power the inputs. Yeah. Obviously, because they're so featureless, they're not going to be using up much battery because there's no rumble of any kind.
None at all.
None whatsoever. No rumble.
We really are living in the past here.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so you're not worrying about that taking your battery. No rumble. There's no gyro. There's no NFC. There's pretty much nothing.
Right.
What it does have, which was the whole point of these and the features
usable
of these,
buttons.
Joysticks.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But that was a point, to be perfectly honest, and to be truthful. The joysticks on the Switch Joy-Cons suck. So having a full-size controller joystick was a huge improvement 5 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
It really was. Yeah. And a proper D-pad as opposed to the buttons and stuff. So this was good for the time. It's just now it's not. So it doesn't have any of that. What it does have, and the only thing it actually has, is those larger sticks, a D-pad. But we have turbo, so that you can then spam a button either held or not held. So it will just redo the input for you as many times as you want whilst it's held. And
so if you want to cheat at Animal Farm,
yeah, Animal Crossing.
Sorry,
Animal Farming. Yes,
Animal Farm.
That's on the eShop. That's one of those dodgy ones.
Oh, Medieval Farm. That's what I'm thinking of.
The ones that you play.
Made by George Orwell.
Yeah. So you do have turbo.
Yeah.
And also you have a sign, which is button swap to the back paddles.
Is it true button swap?
It's actual button swap, yeah.
Wow.
So
okay.
Just throw everything on the floor.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it actually has true button swap, and you can turbo the button as well on the back, which is good, And at the time, I bought the Demon X Machina ones, whatever, for Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
In early 2020.
Not for Animal Farm.
Not Animal Farm. No, that one hadn't been released yet. That was a copy of Animal Crossing. Yeah. But yeah, so Animal Crossing, you have to do a lot of pressing the same button.
Yeah.
And I purposefully picked up the original ones of these because I was like, you know what? I don't want to press that button anymore.
Yeah, I'm done with that.
I'm done with these button presses. So I'm going to hit turbo.
Farm your wood yourself.
And leave it. Yeah. So I could craft and dig and chop wood or whatever without having to do anything other than run around. And it made my life easier. Christina was there with her Switch Lite, pressing the button about 9,000 times a day. And I'm just there like, hey.
Turbo, I'm going to go make a coffee.
So these were really, really good. And honestly, I still think they're good. I just not in comparison to everything else on the market.
So go back to the original question. are they worth buying now? Yes and no.
Yeah.
And I guess the third part and the final part of that, which will dictate, is the price point.
Absolutely.
They're incredibly priced now.
Yeah. Now they're really good price points.
Really good price.
At the time, they were extremely expensive.
Yeah.
Especially if you wanted to go down the route of getting the attachment set, because they were like 90 quid in the UK.
Savage.
And you had to re-buy another pair
but also,
with this.
You do have to put that in the context of what replacing your Joy-Cons from Nintendo cost. And that was 50 quid, wasn't it?
70.
Easily. 70.
69.99.
Was it really?
Yeah, I think
I only ever bought them in the sale.
Oh yeah. You can get them cheaper, but like full price, they were 70 quid.
So that kind of gives you the landscape in which they're working. And so, is it that bad? Probably not.
No.
But now you're like half that price.
Yeah, easily. I mean, when I bought the original Daemon X Machina ones, they were 60 quid, and I think I had like a code or a discount, or like a family had given me something for Christmas, like a card. So I paid less and I was happy with that, and I was fine with that. I think I paid 40 quid at the time when they released, and I was happy. I used them to death as well, I must say. Still got my original pair, still work fine, but now they've got all these cool designs, and that it does account for something. You can get your favorite pair. I mean, you got Link on this. Like, if you're really into Zelda, this might tip you over the edge of wanting to get some really cool.
Oh, it does it for me, especially like the Sonic ones. I'm like, I'm in there.
Sonic
Let's do it.
I bought the Gengar ones. I imported them from Japan.
Yeah.
Of the compacts. Beautiful. They're like still my favorite looking. They're so cool. So that really does say something. But now, instead of like 60 quid, you can get these full price at 45 quid with your favorite look, or you can find them discounted as much as like £30 for just the standard colorways.
Yeah, the plain ones,
which is amazing. These ones, the compacts, which in my opinion are better.
They are.
The only reason you should go for these is if you've got huge hands, or if it's got a design you like.
Yes.
But these are better, in my opinion. These go down as cheap as 20 quid at the minute on sale on Amazon and Currys and places like that. It might be different in America, but in the UK, currently you can get these for like 20 quid. If you want the designs, especially these EV ones, these will be more expensive. But for the base level models, you can pick these up properly cheap.
So if you're looking for something to replace your Joy-Cons with that's a bit more ergonomic, has a few more features, but you're on a budget, the plain version of the compacts is definitely the option to go for.
You wouldn't be able to match that with any of these third parties. And I do want to say as well, because this is a licensed product, bear in mind, like, all of these opinions are our own, so I can't speak. But I would say, because these are licensed and it's by HORI, you're going to get really good customer service.
Yes.
And I want to say that by the first pair that I imported from Japan had a problem.
Yeah.
And I bought them from Japan, bearing in mind, not in the UK.
Yeah.
So I bought them from Japan. The left side, the turbo and the macro, the button swap didn't work correctly. And I was gutted. I was like, how am I going to fix this? I don't speak Japanese, So I contacted HORI UK and just told them, look, I bought these from Japan. Unfortunately, there's a problem. They went, they're not even available in the UK yet because you've, bought them from Japan. He said, we will be getting them. And he said, and I can sort that out for you. Bear in mind, I went there as a consumer. I did not say, oh, by the way, we're YouTubers, blah, blah, blah. Like, we didn't bring that up. I wish you did.
I'd love to hear it.
But I did slip that in later. But
by the way.
But initially, I just said, I'm just average Joe.
Yeah.
Here it is. This is my problem. And he was more than willing to either send me a replacement colorway, but I was adamant I wanted the Gengar ones, in which case he sent me some from the Netherlands when they were available, because they still weren't available at that time. So I have to say that HORI's customer service was spot on. Yeah. So you are getting that alongside.
How much are they paying you for this?
I'm just shoving the suitcase of money underneath the table.
Maybe we should get in touch with them. See if
we should, yes. Yeah. We should send them this video and be like, can you pay the invoice now?
So it's a difficult question to answer. Are they worth buying now with anything? So it all depends on your perspective. Yeah. If you want that officially licensed or specific look, then yes, it's your only option.
And peace of mind of customer service.
Yeah. If you're on a budget, then it's an awesome option to go for.
Absolutely.
If you want the very best that's technically on offer, these aren't it.
Don't look for. There's so many others on option, and even if you've got a little bit of money extra, or if you're looking at paying full price for these, there's better options out there.
Better options.
Yeah. I'd only buy these if they're extremely discounted,
and that's why they won't pay us.
But yeah, the other options, you've got plenty of stuff from Nixie, Doyoki, Binbok.
Yeah.
But my all-time favorite is by Mobopad.
Yeah.
They are the best. The Mobopad
100%
M6S is closer priced to these and more akin to the compacts in size.
Yeah.
And they have almost everything in comparison to these having nothing.
Yeah.
So I'd highly recommend those over, and they're basically the same price.
Yeah. Totally with you. Right, we're at the end. So you tell them what to do. Tell them to go whatever it is they need to do to themselves.
So first of all, play Animal Farm, which is AJ's favourite game.
I actually made it today.
Yes, he's the only player currently. So, But no, you've...
more servers available than Battlefront.
Nice. But yeah, down below, you'll find the membership button.
Oh, yeah.
And you can become a member and come to our Discord where we will hang out.
99p to support what we do here. It's the only support we get, and it means a lot to us. And yes, there is the Discord where we will hang out.
Yes.
There's also, you get access to these videos earlier than everyone else.
Taking on from me there.
Can't talk. While you're down there, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, and then watch something else that's smashed between our faces. Like a sandwich of video fun.
Oh, lovely.
It's all there. Click on it, and we'll see you
in the podcast, on the podcast channel. Go over there.
You're so good at plugging. Bye.
Bye.